Hori are known probably best now for making really high quality joypad replacements for various consoles, but they also used to dabble in making accessories of other kinds for lots of different consoles as well, including this one, which is kind of a hardware save state system for the Famicom. And here it is, the Hori Family Computer Game Repeater. Yeah, it looks the part. It looks very close to the old Famicom discs with the silver cardboard boxing and stuff, and the nice big red lettering. So yeah, you can see there it was 300 from a hard off. Ignoring the name, hard off is like a. I guess you'd kind of say it's like a CEX really in Japan, where you can buy quite a lot of second-hand stuff. It's a really good place to visit if you go to Japan, by the way. There's lots of them. They've all got different stock, and they have lots of retro stuff as well. So anyway, let's open her up, which is done. This sticker, by the way, was, I think, white before, but you can see there's kind of outlines of sellotape. That's not the sellotape itself. The sellotape just fell off as soon as I got this box out, and this is just the adhesive that's just basically bonded to the cardboard. Unfortunate. But yeah, if we open up this, it just kind of opens up and we get the look at the game repeater. It's a nice big plastic box, and we've also got the manual in here as well, so we'll take this out and then we can put the cardboard box to one side. It has suffered enough in its time. The manual is not going to be a huge amount of help to us. It's obviously mostly in Japanese. We kind of get a bit of an idea of what a lot of it does. There is some English in here, but it's kind of cool. It's a nice little box of tricks. So, I mean, the one thing it did tell me, and I'll explain this in a minute, which is a good job it did, because I wouldn't have known otherwise. Right, so, the game repeater itself. Yeah, it's a nice big box, like I said. Gold lettering there. Yeah, quite a few buttons for saving and loading. You can plug in a tape drive on the side there. Like the actual Famicom tape drive, which I'll be covering again when I'm going to do another look at the Famicom family pack, because I've now got the whole set really, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, so you can save and load and verify them on tape if you want to keep record of what you're doing. And yeah, it's just some switches like stand by and stop, and record and repeat, and then this big start button here, which is very squeaky. Probably going to need some oiling. Right, so what is it? I mean, we should explain that. Basically, this plugs into the back of your, from the front of your Famicom, like that. So it plugs into the accessory port at the front, which is usually used for joysticks and various things like light guns and stuff. And you plug a joypad into the front, so you can plug in one of the, let's say, the NES Advantage joypads in there, or this little tiny slot, which you can probably barely see because it's black on black there, is designed to have the joypads from the original Famicom in. Now, if you didn't know, the original Famicom, there we are, its joypads are hardwired into the console. So I guess the idea of that is you take apart your Famicom and you plug a joypad in there. Fortunately, obviously I repair a lot of machines, so therefore I have a spare one, so I've got a nice spare Famicom joypad that I can try this out on, which is good, because whilst I have a NES Advantage somewhere, or a Famicom Advantage, or Famicom, what it's called, a Famicom external joystick anyway, somewhere, I don't know where, I couldn't find it, so we will use this one instead and plug it into the slot at the front. So yes, anyway, the idea, say you're playing Mario, and obviously the first part of Mario is pretty much the same. It's hardwired bad guys, and you'll do basically the same movement every time. So say you manage to get a perfect jump in that first one, you hit the blocks, you hit the bad guys. Well, if you hit the record button on this, so if you turn that to record, and then hit start and then do your run, it will record the exact joystick movements you do. And then when you've done that, you can turn that off, and then when the game starts again and you're ready to move, you just turn that off and it will just start playing. Well, you hit start, it will start repeating those exact same movements. Obviously there is no intelligence in this at all. it's literally just recording whatever comes into one of these ports. So you could record Mario and then load up Metroid and it will do the exact same thing, and obviously not work very well because it's an entirely different game. So yeah, it's an interesting one. You see what I said about it being kind of like a hardware save state? It kind of is, but only from inputs rather than for the actual game itself. Now, how it works is interesting, because although there is some power that comes out of the accessory slot, obviously it's not enough, because this has this on the side and a power DC adapter. There we go there. So I'm guessing you're supposed to plug the NES adapter into here. Famicom adapter. I'll say Famicom, not NES. It's definitely a Famicom, not a NES. So the Famicom adapter goes in there, and then this goes into the Famicom, so it can share the power. So obviously it requires a bit more, which I guess makes sense because there's probably some flash memory chips in there, and of its age, they're probably going to be. They may be 12-volt ones, so it would explain why. We'll have a look, maybe. Maybe we'll open it up. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's an interesting device. I think maybe we will. Yeah, well, you know what, we will. We'll take it open. We'll open it up and have a look inside. Right. So anyway, we should... first of all, let's zoom out a little bit. Right, so there you go. So we've got our NES here. NES, Famicom. We've got our Famicom here, my word. There we go, so we can plug that in there, and that's basically how that works. How do we get this joypad in? Actually, that's a good point. Is there... Oh, there is, you know what, there's a guiding hole on both. So that's easy. So there's a small hole on here, there's a small pin there. So that will just go... That's not... I mean, I say easy. That's not so bad, that's not so bad. That works quite well. It looks dodgy, obviously, with the wires being kind of visible like that. So yeah, so we'd plug that in there, and then round the back of... untwist. Round the back of the Famicom, there's the DC plug. That literally just reaches. That was well designed by them. That's exactly the right length, pretty much. And, if we reach over here, this is the Famicom power supply. That goes in there. Huh. So that's the setup then. That's what it takes to get this working. Interesting. Now this has been converted to be composite, so we should be able to get a relatively okay picture out of it, so we can kind of give this a go then. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll give it a go first, and then we'll come back and we'll take it apart. See you in a bit. Right then, here we are with Dragon Ball Z Free, a game I've never played, but it was the only Famicom game I could actually find. I don't know how to play this at all, so we're going to find that out. So first of all, let's just see if we can actually play the game using the controller that we've got plugged in, which at the moment doesn't feel like it's working. There's a chance this game repeater just doesn't work. I mean, it's powering up the Famicom, certainly, but that's just a pass-through, so that doesn't say anything. Is that fully in? Oh, that may not have been fully in. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's doing anything different. Alright, so there's a chance this just doesn't work. Or this controller doesn't work, I guess. That's another problem. Alright, so we know that the game is working. So this isn't. Okay, so either we don't understand what's going on, which is possible. Oh, okay, something's working. So this does seem to be doing something. At least these lights are coming on. And pushing that down does something. Actually, just seems to reset the machine. Stick that to standby. Does that do something? There's a chance this controller doesn't work. Be a bit weird though. What we'll do is we will turn all this off and we'll break this down and we'll have a look inside just to see if we can find out what's going on, and at least get a look inside it if we can't use it. Right, back in a bit. Okay, well, one thing I found out is this is really hard to get out, so they didn't expect you to take this controller out again, which I guess makes sense if you literally dismantled your Famicom to take your controller through. I guess that makes sense that they expected this to be relatively permanent. So yeah, there's not really enough of an edge to grip it with your fingers. You don't want to pull by the wires because they are not that strong. So okay, so that's staying in there until we dismantle it then, which we're going to do right now. So it looks like there's just 4 screws, Phillips head screws. So okay, ooh. Buttons are loose, but they kind of go on either way. It doesn't seem to matter though. But the top is not connected via any screws. Oh, straight away we're seeing some capacitors there. Yeah, so this looks like a flash memory module right here. Yeah, there's our LEDs for the saving and loading. 2 ear jacks for the saving and loading. Quite a few miscellaneous chips. So some kind of PLA chip. So is that. Some logic components as well, and then right down there we have a 7805 regulator. So it's expecting 5 volts inside here. So that's interesting. So why is it? Never mind. I guess there must be a reason. It doesn't matter. This capacitor doesn't seem to be in any problem, to be honest. It's not leaking. I can see. It's not especially bulgy. These are quite nice. The ones that have got the stenciled caps. It means you can they tend to bulge out the top more often, and this just blatantly isn't. So I would suggest that's fine. So. This has only got, I don't know, I was using very few of the connections inside. You can kind of see there's that one obvious metal rod there, and there's just inside there, you might be able to see there's another 3. So it's only using a few of the connections of that, which I'm guessing is by design. Quite a neat little design, really. Obviously there's lots of potential failures there. There's another cap there, but that's looks fine as well. The ceramic caps also all look fine. They very rarely go, but they do sometimes get corrosion around them, which can impede their performance. I mean, this all looks pretty okay. It's a fairly simple system. We know the power's coming in fine because it's going out fine. So I guess we checked, well, we know this regulator must be working because these lights were coming on. So it's obviously something to do with the connector itself. Although we will also obviously check to make sure that's also working. This all seems very clean, so yeah. I find it hard to believe that anything has spectacularly gone wrong in here. Unfortunately, what that means is that something has quietly gone wrong in here, which generally is less repairable. Oh, blimey, look at that. That's a nice big ceramic capacitor thing over there, or some kind of, I don't know, it's huge though. Giant leads on it. I've got no idea. Oh, something's happened here. Or is that just... It does look like a lot of heat has happened around there. Oh, well, that is where the regulator is, I suppose, so that's kind of moderately understandable. Don't know, nothing obvious. We can try cleaning some of the... That really does not want to come out. Right, with a reread of the instructions, it looks like we can do this without having an external controller, which is good, because it means we don't have to rely on lots of different things we aren't sure if they work at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a bit of a spritz with some deoxit, and let's just spray some deoxit, put it back together and give it one more try, otherwise we'll just wrap up. All of us disappointed. I'm sure you're disappointed. Trust me, I am also disappointed. I'm going to deox it into my Famicom as well, because I don't know when I last did that. I'm sure I have at least once. I will also say that it was even more effort trying to remove that Famicom controller from the front than I expected, and I did snap a tiny bit of plastic off of the adapter, but yeah. Brittle plastic and overzealous connectors, that's the problem there. Right, should get this in shot really. All we're doing is putting it all back together again, so come on, in you go. No, so we gave it another try off camera, and it was still, whenever you hit this start button, it just resets the whole thing, which I'm pretty sure it's not meant to do. I followed the instructions, I even did the Japanese translation, and yeah, I followed them, and it just didn't seem to do anything. So, well, that's a shame, but maybe in a future video we'll actually break it down and try and work out what's going wrong with it. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot that could be going wrong with it. There's a couple of those PLAs which will have custom software on, and the flash memory chips and everything, so we'll have a look anyway, and we'll at some point in the future, and we'll work out what's going on. But it's an interesting device regardless, and yeah, just kind of a weird, very niche product really, because like I did play some of the Dragon Ball Z and Z whatever, and it's a kind of it's a weird choose your move, and then it kind of plays off as an animation game, which this really isn't that key towards doing, I guess. I mean, I guess it would work, but it's not the perfect use of this. So yeah, it's a weird niche product, but an interesting one all the same, and it does look very nice. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit like. If you really like the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't like the video, or you have something else to say, then please leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the bell icon, which is over there somewhere, I don't remember. Yeah, see you next time.